Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shabd. In our first episode, I have a very special guest. His name is Dr. Ashok Patil. Dr. Ashok Patil has been a long-standing friend of Dr. Kalam. He's also been the initiator of the Loni Pura mission. Pura is providing urban amenities in rural areas, and that was something which was inspired by Dr. Kalam. Dr. Kalam visited his Loni Pura as a president after he had demitted the office of president, and many other several occasions they have met together. Dr. Kalam actually researched on Dr. Patil and gave him this title, that he was the first Vice Chancellor of the world of any rural medical university. And that is the title which Dr. Kalam found out for Dr. Patil. Dr. Patil, you're welcome.
Thank you.
To Shabd.
Thank you.
You're sitting under Dr. Kalam's face and aura.
Yeah.
So, and it's the first episode, so I'm sure it's a very moving experience. So I want to start with my first question. We'll just discuss about your interaction with Dr. Kalam. How did you first meet Dr. Kalam?
I was actually asked, I got a call from Rashtrapati Bhavan one day.
This is which year?
2005.
2005.
And that Rashtrapati wants to meet you. And I really had no clue what it was. He said, no, Dr. Kalam wants to know about your work, and he would like to come discuss your work with him. So, and then I got another call next day. What would you like to have in the Rashtrapati Bhavan? I said, I just want an internet connection and a projector. That's all I said. And I reached the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Dr. Kalam came and sat and asked me to sit beside him. As usual, he had no PA, nobody. He took a piece of paper and he started writing down everything I said with his own hands. And then after the meeting...
How long did it last?
Our meeting lasted for almost 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Just one-to-one. And after that meeting, he asked me to come to some other room. And then he told me that his mission in life was to provide FRO equipment or the floor orthosis to 100,000 polio-affected children so they could walk. And I had no idea what is FRO. So then he explained to me that while he was designing the satellite, he found that plastic...
Agni missile, I suppose.
No, the satellite. The first satellite which he put for India in the space. He had found a very special plastic which had special properties. And he realized that plastic could be used to make the artificial limbs for polio-affected children. And that was something revealing. And then he said, a normal Jaipur foot weighs about 3 kilos and a child can't walk with 3 kilos.
Absolutely. 3 kilos each foot.
Each foot. And this was going to weigh 300 grams. Now that was very, very revolutionary. 1/10. I never heard of it. I'm running a physiotherapy school. And I've never heard this, but it was Dr. Kalam's brains that he had thought about it. He had in fact designed a limb out of this plastic. And so he had called the company manufacturing this for the meeting. And he said, can you help me? And Dr. Kalam, the president of India, asking me, can you help me? I was shocked. And to make an impression on him, yes, sir, I will give it to 1,000 kids. Now, knowing Dr. Kalam and his history, he has never mentioned this mission of his of providing calipers to 100,000 children. It's nowhere recorded. And he said, I will help you. And then I had to send my people for training to a particular place and the equipment. And then at the end of the meeting said, Ashok, I would like to pay for this.
He personally would like to
pay for this 1,000 children's calipers. So I said, sir, you're coming to my village. That's an honor. So I would like to do it myself. And grudgingly he accepted. And that's my first meeting with him. And then the preparation started. I found that I couldn't find 1,000 polio-affected children in my area because I've been working there for the last 30 years. So I had to search in 9 districts, now having given a promise to him.
All around.
Oh yeah. And I had not realized that problem is really severe. Because we do have polio even now in the country. So, and that's how we jailed in the first meeting.
So he came down?
Yeah, he came down. He gave me a date while we were sitting. We worked out how many children, how the workshop will, the
What date
company
today?
company will be able to provide. And he said, yeah, I will come to your village on 15th October.
15th October.
15th
That's a very special day, actually.
I didn't know then.
It was his birthday.
I didn't know.
Okay.
I mean, for me, everything is overwhelming, and he's writing, and 15th October, so we got to act together, and we found children, and then I realized that children had to walk. Now, they have never walked in their life, so I had to bring them to the hospital, keep them for 3 days, give them training to walk with this caliper, because for them it was an experience of freedom. And then I realized that they were going to walk, they would like to go to school, so with my own money I bought uniforms. And then as the date came by, I got a call from Rashtrapati Bhavan or somebody from that Rashtrapati will be spending 45 minutes in Loni with you. So I called back because I had already been given a list by Dr. Kalam what all he would be doing in Loni. And that time I had also developed, this is in 2005, from my hospital, I had connectivity to 40 villages for health care, for market, for agriculture, for education, everything, the whole, e-education, e-health, e-marketing, total, on broadband in my village, without broadband coming there.
Of course.
So he wanted to speak to my villagers, sitting in the hospital. Then we probably are one of the 4 hospitals in the world which we do open heart surgery for children. Only for children. So he wanted to meet the children. You know how Dr. Kalam.
Of course.
So the list was big. So I called back Rashtrapati Bhavan and I said, I've been told that he will spend 45 minutes. So kindly tell Dr. Kalam to cancel his visit because I can't do miracles in 45 minutes.
You said don't come.
Yeah, please don't come because you're wasting his time and you're wasting my time. And to prepare for 45 minutes, I can't do it.
That was bold.
No, I mean, that was a fact because Dr. Kalam had given me a list written with his own hand.
Of course.
And he even had asked me what are the problems of the village I'm going to talk to and what I should be asking them, what are the issues and all that. So he was fully prepared. Now, we just talking to the villagers will take 5 minutes. Transporting, going from, 45 minutes just not possible. So I said, please tell Dr. Kalam to cancel his visit. So I got a call in 1 hour and he said, President asking how much time do you need? I said, at least 2 hours. And I got a call back again in 5 minutes, President, time, no problem. Probably I was the only guy on earth to tell a president not to come.
Not to come, you startled him.
No, I did. I mean, it was genuine.
Of course.
And then, as the days came by, somebody mentioned that it's Dr. Kalam's birthday.
On 15th of October,
when
he was
supposed to come. And I got a shock of my life. I said, okay, now we must have a cake, we must have a song, children performing. So now anything you do, you have to have a minute-to-minute program. So you can't do anything without his knowledge. So I called the Rashtrapati Bhavan. I said, it's Dr. Kalam's birthday, we have learnt. So we'd like to cut a cake, children would like to sing. Immediately came a call. Dr. Kalam said that nobody should know that it is birthday. There will be no song, no cake. He only wants to spend time with his handicapped children. And he didn't like the word handicap. He said physically challenged children. He had corrected me many times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, physically so challenged. Not even physically disabled. Physically challenged. And so he came, spent time with his kids, spoke to the people, spoke to the children, spent about 2 hours. And that was my first. And then the problem was we are in rural India. And Dr. Kalam speaks in English. Rural Maharashtra doesn't know. So again, I had to call Rashtrapati Bhavan that
Need a translator.
Can we translate? No, can we translate? And yes. So for the first time in my life, I translated from English to Marathi.
Okay.
And I was told by people that was the best translation because I translated the spirit, not the words.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so that went home pretty well. So a lot of experiences of that kind.
You also got a new experience as a translator then.
I got many experiences.
But it's fantastic. I spent so many years with Dr. Kalam. Never ever, out of the 7-8 years I've been with him, I have seen him in Delhi on the 15th of October. It would be made a point that he is traveling maximum on 15th of October, going to the most remotest place of India, and I would only see him late in the night, and I would wait there, and he would come back at 10:30, 11 in the night, and I'll say, "Sir, happy birthday," and touch his feet. But he will never stay and not work on his birthday. He said, "It's my birthday, I should work." So that's been his spirit throughout.
Great,
his life,
yeah.
right, sir. So I wanted to also, even after he, his office of president ended in 2007, he was in constant touch with you. They were always meeting. Can you share some of the memories? That's more freedom. There's more freedom of.
Oh, I have
expression
too
there.
many memories. I'm a changed man because. of that
So, what's the
person.
most vivid memory after his presidential time?
Just to give you two, you were part of one story.
Right.
He came to my education society had the Golden Jubilee celebrations. I invited, and he came all the way for the celebrations. We had about 45,000 students in public, and he was talking to them. And as usual, any program with the kids wanted to perform, they wanted to dance. There were 4 schools going to dance, and it was getting late.
Right.
So I requested, sir, that the last group may not be able to dance because it's getting late. He had
And the
to catch
helicopter
a
could
flight.
not take off.
Yeah, and he had to catch a helicopter from my village to Bombay and then catch a flight.
Right.
So, but he wanted to see all the dances, and I tried to convince him, and it took me about 5-10 minutes to convince him. He grudgingly accepted. Okay, let's finish this. I mean, the last
dance.
may not dance, and then he spoke, and then we went for lunch.
Right.
And halfway through the lunch,
He was having bhindi that day, I remember.
yeah, we had asked him. I know what he liked, so we had prepared different things, and including bhendi. And then suddenly he looks up, Ashok ji, that group which didn't get to dance, I'd like to meet them. That was the biggest shocking thing in my life, coming from a man of that stature, that he was not thinking about himself, but he was thinking about the children
Even while he
who
was having
didn't,
food. Yes.
while having his food. And I had to get them. He finished his lunch. The children were all outside crying because they are not able to perform. So I told the kids that the others didn't get to meet the great man. You are now, and he made a point to go to each and every child, every student, and shook hands and took a picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was something. I've seen politicians and big people. Even I've never done that.
That compassion. I think it's just
empathy and compassion and
sheer love.
pure love. Yeah, and once I went to his house. He had called me in the evening, and he always liked to. I don't know why he loved me, so always wanted to make sure that he came out, or probably wanted to make sure that I didn't come back. I didn't know what. So one day I went to his house in the evening, 9:30, no cameras, nobody. He comes out, and then suddenly looks at this lovely tree of Arjuna in his house and starts talking about that tree and the
105
birds.
years
No, he knew everything. He knew each and every bird and each and every the peacock and the baby of the peacock, and he knew all the birds, and he had written a poem on it, and it called for a book, which had written a lovely poem. I didn't know he was a poet. First time I saw a compilation of his poems, which were read around the world, and the first poem was from this book, on the tree, life tree. And then suddenly, my driver had turned the vehicle, and my driver stood there, and this great man left me and walked 20 paces to my driver in the night when nobody was watching. And I think it would be better you hear the story.
I think we have him here.
Yeah, Rambir,
come. So please welcome Rambir. He was the person who was driving Dr. Patil. And Rambir ji, आप बताइए सर आप
उस दिन आप क्या हुआ जब हम कलाम साहब के घर गए थे?
पहली बार गए साहब के पास, कलाम साहब के, तो जब साहब मिलके आने लगे तो वो फिर बाहर आए, मैं गाड़ी में बैठा हुआ था, तो वो एकदम मेरे पास आए, तो मेरे को बड़ा वो लगा कि एक मतलब राष्ट्रपति होके एक नॉर्मल आदमी के पास आए हैं। वो पूछा उन्होंने कहाँ के रहने वाले हो, नाम पूछा, सब कुछ पूछा, तो मैं मिलके बहुत अच्छा लगा और मुझे को बहुत खुशी भी हुई। तो मैं जब मिलके जब वापस आया, मैंने और लोगों को भी बोला भाई मैं आज साहब से मिला।
कोई माना?
कोई नहीं माना। तो फिर जब मैंने साहब को बताया, मैं कहा सर अब की बार जाएंगे तो मेरे को फ़ोटो खिंचानी है।
चाहिए।
फिर साहब दोबारा गए, तो फिर मैंने बोला सर फ़ोटो खिंचाने, तो साहब ने बोला कि हमारे रामवीर पिछली बार मिला था, तो मतलब फ़ोटो नहीं खिंचाया, तो फ़ोटो खिंचाना चाह रहे थे। वो फिर बाहर आए, उन्होंने अच्छी तरह फ़ोटो खिंचाई मेरे साथ और बहुत अच्छा लगा। तो इससे ये पता चलता है कि उनके दिमाग में बिल्कुल ये चीज़ नहीं थी कि मैं इतना बड़ा आदमी राष्ट्रपति होके हुए एक नॉर्मल आदमी के साथ में बात कर रहा हूँ या उनके साथ में मिल रहा हूँ, उनको बिल्कुल वो चीज़ नहीं थी।
अब फ़ोटो कहाँ है? जो फ़ोटो
रखा है मेरे घर पे,
रखा है
काफ़ी।
और लोगों को अभी भी विश्वास,
तो ये
अभी लोगों को विश्वास नहीं।
तो जब मैंने वो फोटो प्रूफ रखा, मैं ये देखो, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा उनसे मिलके और ये उनके अंदर ये चीज़ नहीं थी कि एक नॉर्मल ड्राइवर के साथ मैं बात कर रहा हूँ या मैं उससे मिलने के लिए जा रहा हूँ, तो ये बहुत अच्छा है उनमें एक ये थी कि बहुत अच्छे इंसान थे।
आपको याद आती है उनकी?
हाँ, बहुत आती है
सर। आई वांट टू इट्स वेरी टचिंग, आई थिंक. It just shows how compassion in action in real life, in everyday life, in every moment. And I think that defined Kalam. To me, that love and compassion, more than the science and everything else, to me, the love, compassion, care, empathy is Kalam. Sir, I wanted to ask you one more question. And this was, and I remember because I was a part of it. Dr. Kalam often discussed with you about writing something together.
Yeah.
There was a book which he actually chased you quite a few times.
Yes, he
that you should do it.
did.
Can you tell me something about that book?
One day, Dr. Kalam, actually, I was you're part of the story, and I was invited to Delhi. We were sitting on the stage, and he had told me to talk on smart cities. No, nothing to do with smart cities, but I don't know why he wanted. But that's another story. And in the evening, he told me to come home. So I went to his house and he looked at me. He said, and immediately said, Ashok ji, I want you to write a book on education with me. And let me tell you, 2 minutes, it was such a big shock that I thought I had heard something. I mean, I had not heard properly. So I said, excuse me, sir. Yeah, we have to write a book on education. Like a matter of fact, I mean, there is no discussion like. And you can refer to all my 20,000 speeches or 2,000 speeches which I've made. I've made a lot of comments on education. And we have to focus only on two things. One is why Indian education system is not internationally competitive, why Indian universities are not anywhere among the Times ranking. And secondly, why Indian graduates are not employable. We address these two issues, we'll address all the educational problems of this country. So it was so simple for him, you know. And I started writing few lines, few chapters, as to call him. And
I connected many of your calls.
Yeah, you have been.
Just call my cell and we used to talk.
Because Dr. Kalam had a very funny small cell phone it was ancient. You can't even find it in a museum these days. And he used to switch it off most of the time.
Yeah.
Or
it was silent.
It was on silent, yeah. So I used to call you, and so we started, but I became very lazy because I realized that Dr. Kalam is just 86. All his family has lived beyond 100 and 102, and he used to tell me about his family, his brother and his mother and his father. They died at 97 and 102 and all those. So I said, he's just 86, and he looked young and full of energy. And so that is actually my misfortune that we didn't get to complete the book. But he was one guy who was relentless. So he kept on chasing me, and when you wrote the last book, Reignited.
Advantage India.
No, Reignited.
Okay.
Reignited, which you wrote with him.
Of course, we co-authored.
He kept on chasing me that you have to write a chapter in his book.
Oh yes, that Reignited book.
And so I wrote a chapter on Reignited. And I really didn't find time. So you were calling, he was calling, and I said, what the hell? So actually I took a holiday for 2 days. Went into the forest, literally into a
we sent you about 10 questions.
Yeah. You sent me 10 questions. Went to a forest, sat down there for 2 days in a resort and wrote that. Yeah, because you have to concentrate.
Absolutely.
And then you're going to be part of Dr. Kalam's book. It's not just any book.
True.
And you got to be very, very careful. And you have to be, knowing Dr. Kalam, you're talking to a scientist. So you just can't.
Be one.
Yeah. So I spent, and then I realized it had become 1,000 words. And I was told by you that it had to be 600 words. But still Dr. Kalam said, no, all the 1,000 words will be printed.
Yes, we did.
Then he did. And he told the publisher that, no, we print everything. So I was very fortunate enough to have, of course, my memories are many, but I still, the one great thing which I missed was writing that book.
Are you planning to complete it?
No, I don't think anybody will. You see, Dr. Kalam and his experience, his knowledge, his engagement was, I don't think anybody would read a book on education by me, though I have spent about 40 years in education. Because we have too many educational experts in this country. Actually, Dr. Kalam tried to modify the education system, amend the education system. And one day he tells me, Ashok ji, it's very difficult to sell things in Delhi.
kept trying.
He kept trying. And actually, he did succeed in one thing. The vocational subjects for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th in CBSE, the students could choose 2 vocational subjects and they would be included in the final grading for 10th and 12th. That was his contribution, so that children would be sensitized for vocations. But it took him 4 years to sell that idea.
Him to sell vocations.
Dr. Kalam took 4 years to sell that idea to the government.
Yeah, but he kept trying.
Yes,
Just like he failed as a pilot at the age of 25, he kept trying, and 75 he became a pilot.
Yes.
So I think we are coming to the end of our little segment, Shabd, first episode. I would like to thank Dr. Patil for your time and your ideas and the compassion and the energy and the surreal environment you brought in, as if Dr. Kalam was right here with us.
Yeah, I miss him every day.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.